Hey gamers, welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about 7 gaming trends that are dying, and some of them are already completely dead. So, are you ready? Do you like me miss some of them? Let's find out. And let's start with something I really miss: color manuals. To be honest, I even miss the black and white manuals because nowadays we don't have any manuals at all. Even the limited run games, as you can see, my Doom Eternal comes with a tiny manual. My Street of Rage and Shinobi from limited run also have tiny manuals. Do you want to see a real Street of Rage and Shinobi manual? Look, some games even came with 2 manuals, the original in English and one translated into Portuguese, because I'm from Portugal. And back then, I always read the complete manual before start playing. I drove some of my friends nuts and they played the game before me because I was reading the manual, but I didn't care. Unfortunately, I realized that manuals will never return. Everything is shifted to digital format. Even CDs, DVDs, Blu-rays are dying. We are heading to a direction nothing belongs to us. Everything is digital. To listen to music, we have to pay Spotify. To see movies, we have to pay Netflix, Amazon Prime, HBO, Disney+. And unfortunately, we probably will not going to have box games in the future, and everything will be digital. Gaming magazines. I loved buying every month gaming magazines like Megascore and Super Juegos, among others. I love seeing the games that were coming out. Today, when the game is announced, we see the trailer with the music, the voice acting, the story, and we get spoilers everywhere. We already know everything before start playing. But it's not just that. When I was a kid, I loved sitting on my bed, reading the magazines, just like old people do in coffee shops reading newspapers. We had magazines dedicated to Sega, Nintendo, and later Sony. It was so nice to turn the pages without knowing what would come next. Some magazines offered posters, t-shirts, pins, demos. I still have the Mickey Mania demo for the Mega CD that came out with the Mega Sega magazine. My cousin made this cover for me because the magazine only came with a disc. But just like the manuals, magazines have almost disappeared because, once again, everything is now digital. Simpler gameplay. With this, you can see easily that I'm old. But I miss the simpler gameplay. One button to attack, one button to jump, and some games a third button for special attack or magic. The games focus on the pleasure of playing, on the gameplay. Games like Final Fight, Ninja Gaiden, Shinobi, Dragon Ninja, Contra, Midnight Resistance, Golden Axe, Metal Slug. These games I just mentioned have enormous replay value. Before recording this video, I played Metal Slug 5, and playing that game, it gave me the same pleasure as when it came out in 2003. I recently finished and loved Ghost of Yotei, and even in the last level, I had memorized all the buttons, all the combinations, all the combos. We use 8 buttons on the controller, plus 2 analogic sticks and the 4 directions of the D-pad. Logically, games are now less linear. 3D and the expansion of 3D gave us magnificent worlds. And we can see that easily in Ghost of Yotei, Ghost of Tsushima, Red Dead Redemption 2, and even the new Zeldas. But if I compare the simplicity of Super Metroid or Metroid Fusion with the last Metroid that came out in 2D, Metroid Dread, once again we have to use 1,000 buttons, 100 analogy sticks, and that won't make the game better. Sometimes less is more. Going to the arcades. I can't speak for other countries, but I live in Portugal, and here the arcades are gone. We used to have arcades everywhere. Even small local stores have one arcade game in the corner, where every kid in the neighborhood play it. That's how I play for the first time Double Dragon, Kung Fu Master, Insector X, Sunset Riders, Shadow Dancer, Final Fight, Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter 2, among others. The arcade machines were far superior to the consoles we had at the time. my Mega Drive could only dream of having the power of an arcade machine. Not even the Sega Saturn and the first PlayStation could make perfect conversions of the arcade games. The first console that managed to do it was the Dreamcast, and it was excellent. For the first time, we had the quality of the arcade machines at home without having to spend coins. But what I miss most is going with my childhood friends to the arcades, meeting new friends, seeing new machines, the thrill of playing my last coin in my last round in Street Fighter 2, knowing that if I lose that round I wouldn't be able to play again, the thrill of my friends watching me play, or the thrill and the emotion seeing someone reach the end of the arcade game for the first time. These are times that will never return. I think all players miss this. Buying a game that is complete, having the complete game on the CD without having to download or have stupid keycards. Yes, this was for you, Nintendo, where we have to complete download the game for the card. I still today can plug my Mega Drive, my Nintendo 64 or any old console in the TV and play. And I can't say that about my PlayStation 3 or the Nintendo Wii. For example, what is going to happen to my games, especially the digital games, when Sony and Nintendo shut down the servers of those consoles? And many years from now, how I'm going to play my PlayStation 5 games if most of them I have to download it to play. Even box games, we no longer add the game in the Blu-ray, we have to download it. We don't own the game anymore, we can only play them while the servers are still active. Midnight release. I confessed I only went to one midnight release back when the PSP came out, because in the area where I live there weren't any big shopping malls or big stores. Basically, I live in the desert. It wasn't until my middle 20s that they started building big stores and shopping malls. But I remember it was excellent. Each of us, besides the console, could only afford of buying one game. Except my friend Pedro, who was always rich and bought several games. The store was full of gamers with my age and some younger kids with their parents. It was a unique experience and I regretted that it was the only one for me. Without a doubt, this is what I miss the most, playing co-op games with my beloved friends. I'm lucky because I still have my childhood friends today. Because when we leave our parents' house and bought our own, we all bought apartments in the neighborhood where we grew up. I remember spending entire weekends playing Street of Rage, Golden Axe on the Sega Mega Drive, Final Fight on the Mega CD, Chaos Engine and Super Off-Road on the Commodore Amiga. And even before that, when you were little, we played Target Renegade, Double Dragon, Silkworm and our beloved Spectre. But unfortunately, that ended. The last time I played a co-op game at my friend's house was Power Stone 2 and Cam Spike in the Dreamcast days. That talking about playing frequently, because sometimes my brother and my friends came over to play Mario Kart. But we only do a couple of races. Fortunately, I gained a new best friend 12 years ago, my son that I love so much. And we even played today 3 co-op games today. FC26, the new Joe and Mac Caveman Ninjas, and Street of Rage 4. Playing with my son in co-op is like going back to my childhood. When I play with him, I feel like we're both 12 years old. The stress of work, the bills to pay, my commitments, it's like everything disappears. We laugh, we scream with joy. In FC26, I miss goals even when I'm close to the goal and my son, who plays much better than me, laughs at me. He's undoubted the best in my world and I'm very proud of him. He also plays with his friends the games that kids play these days, like Fortnite, Rocket League, Stumble Guys, but always online and never in couch co-op. I confess I even afraid to tell him to invite his friends over to play because I think that would be strange these days. Unfortunately, just like us, technology was distance kids. We don't see kids playing in the park anymore. The playgrounds are empty. That's why I put my son in karate, so he can interact with other kids. Because even between classes, the kids are in their cell phones and hardly talk to each other. So that's it, gamers. 7 gaming trends that are almost dead. As always, I hope you like this video and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.